Corpses exploding forever, automatically. Subtractem's Pathfinder build is beautiful, and only has one little downside. If you don't mind the sound of the eternal tennis match, then you'll want to keep watching. Welcome to Build of the Week. I'm Eben from Grinding Gear Games. It all starts with charms from the Affliction League. In particular, we're looking at this delightful mod. Nearby corpses explode when you warcry. This explosion deals damage based on the life of the monster. If we stack up 3 of these charms, each corpse we detonate will deal 18% of its life as physical damage. At this point, we already kinda have a build. Cast Desecrate to create a corpse pile, then detonate them with a warcry. A fine start. But of course, this is Path of Exile, and Subtractem went further. Let's look at how to create an engine to automate the build. The Eternal Apple is an unusual shield built around warcries. When you're holding this thing and you lose any endurance charges, you will trigger a socketed warcry skill. We can ensure that we're losing endurance charges with a Replica Fragility Jewel, which pops once a second. Now all we need is a way to constantly gain charges. For this, we need the Enduring Composure Cluster Jewel passive. With this, we're sure to gain 1 endurance charge per second if we've been hit recently. How do we ensure that we're always getting hit, so that we can trigger Enduring Composure consistently? Well, if you want a job done right, you gotta do it yourself. That's the unofficial tagline of Skold's Bridle, a unique helmet that deals physical damage to you based on the mana you spend. Subtractem only has a couple of skills that spend mana, just enough to do a negligible amount of self-damage and trigger Enduring Composure. Now we're all set up to cry constantly. Such is life. Finally, we need something to cry about. Subtractem is using Unearth, a spell that fires projectiles that creates corpses. It's linked to cast when stunned. So how do we ensure that hits are enough to stun us and cast Unearth automatically? The tried and true method is this Energy Shield Mastery. This adjusts our stun threshold so that it's based on our energy shield instead of life. As long as we have as little energy shield as possible, this works wonderfully. This setup does necessitate the use of Immutable Force, a jewel that greatly improves our stun recovery. But hey, the engine is running. Warcries, corpses, and explosions forever. The first concern is our warcry cooldown recovery rate. If our warcries are too slow, they'll trigger less than once a second, and the build will feel anemic. The Eternal Apple already has some lovely warcry cooldown reduction built into it. We can pick up some more with this sneaky combo, using an Impossible Escape Jewel to jump over here on the tree to grab deep breaths. Lastly, we need to get our warcry gems to 23% quality, which again improves our cooldown recovery rate to where it needs to be. Regarding corpses, Subtractem is also self-casting Desecrate when encountering bosses and other tough content. The corpse limits for Unearth and Desecrate are separate, so it makes sense to have both. To get the most out of Desecrate, there's a neat trick you might not know about. We can actually choose what kind of corpses we're creating. If we pick up a Raised Spectre gem and use it once, we get to keep summoning the corpse we choose forever with Desecrate. You don't even have to keep Raised Spectre equipped. Subtractem suggests finding a corpse of a Katava's Herald monster, because it has a high life pool which works well for our corpse explosions. To scale our damage, Subtractem has built into Poison, achieving 100% chance to poison from sources like these. Poison is an excellent choice here, because multiple instances of poison stack when things are hit by multiple explosions. And we're exploding plenty of corpses. With this setup, we can also make the most of chaos damage scaling on the tree, and with debuffs like Wither. Defense with this build is a tricky prospect, because we've got a few unique problems to solve. Subtractem isn't investing into evasion, because getting hit more often means generating more corpses. We can't use Energy Shield either, as we're trying to keep our stun threshold as low as possible with the relevant ES mastery. However, there is an elegant solution here: Blood Notch. This jewel recovers life from stunning hits, and since we're getting stunned often, this works rather well. Otherwise, the focus is on mitigation. Our body armor, Lightning Coil, converts some physical damage we take to lightning damage, which is easier to mitigate. Our flask, Taste of Hate, has a similar property, converting damage from physical hits into cold damage. Defiance of Destiny provides life before each enemy hits us. You'll also notice we don't have a huge life pool due to other concerns taking priority. This, along with the self-damage we're taking, makes damage over time effects like bleed especially dangerous. So Subtractem has gone out of the way to acquire bleed immunity. He's also spec'd into several ways to improve ailment avoidance and chaos resistance. This build is smooth and effective, combining multiple creative mechanics into one powerful machine. Depending on the budget, it excels at clearing difficult content like juice maps and simulacrums. Thanks to Subtractem for his contribution. Be sure to check out his build guide video linked below. If you'd like to look like a tennis-playing corpse detonator, what a sentence, here's the microtransactions we used in this episode. See you next time.